So this article is from ZMEScience.com, right? ZME. I do not know what ZME stands for, but it's about science. The subject is astronauts may soon eat fresh fish farmed on the moon. Interesting. Scientists hope Lunar Hatch will make a fresh fish part of space missions menus by Tudor Tarita, April 30th, 2025. Edited and reviewed by Mihai Andre. At a research station tucked away near the beaches of Palavas-les Flats in southern France, hundreds of tiny sea bass circle a tank. They are not aware of it, but they are part of a daring experiment that may one day change life beyond Earth. If all goes to plan, their descendants will be among the first animals raised on the moon, providing fresh food for astronauts on long missions far from home. Extraterrestrials, you might say. Yeah, exactly. The project called Lunar Hatch is led by Dr. Creel Prizibila, right? Prizibila of the French National Institute for Ocean Science, IFREME. It aims to answer a fundamental question for future space explorers. How do you reliably produce fresh, nutritious food on the moon, right? When there is no oxygen, no water, probably water, right? The ice, but no fertilizer, there's sunshine, but a lot of big fluctuations of temperature, right? From like 100 degrees to minus 50 degrees Celsius each day. Fish is an excellent source of a protein because it is the animal organism that we digest the best. Prizibila told The Guardian, it has omega-3 and important B vitamins that will be needed for astronauts in space to maintain muscle mass. A bold experiment in space aquaculture, future space fish, extraterrestrial. The plan is as ambitious as it sounds. Scientists will fertilize sea bass eggs on Earth, then blast them into space aboard a cargo spacecraft. The journey, lasting between 4 and 8 days, coincides perfectly with the eggs' incubation period. Ideally, they would hatch either en route or shortly after arrival at a lunar base. The fish would grow in tanks filled with water, extracted from ice found at the moon's poles, regions permanently shielded from sunlight. So no sunlight there? Probably cold. So that's why they have a lot of ice there. These tanks would form part of closed-loop aquaculture system where every waste product becomes a resource. We've done all the possible simulations we can do on the ground, so the goal now is to have a space mission to verify that data, Prizibila said. Once in operation, the system would mimic integrated multi-trophic aquaculture IMTA, an Earth-based method theorized in 2004. This approach combines different marine species to recycle nutrients. Wastewater from the fish would feed microalgae, which in turn would nourish filter feeders like bivalves and zooplankton. Shrimps and worms would process leftover waste and also serve as food for the sea bass. The aim of Lunar Hatch is to have no waste, Price Bryla emphasized. Everything is recycled through an aquaculture system that would have to be autonomous for 4 to 5 months. The goal, 2 fresh portions of sea bass per week for a 7-person crew over a 16-week mission. To achieve this, around 2,000 fish would be needed, right? Fish here is plural, but it doesn't have S or any other particular form of its native plural form. Preparing for launch and life on the Earth. The idea of sending animals into space isn't new. In 1973, tiny mummy chokes, hardy fish from coastal North America, traveled aboard an Apollo mission. Guppies swam in the Soviet Union's Salyut Space Lab in 1976. More recently, zebrafish were sent to the International Space Station to study most laws in microgravity, right? Zebrafish were, not was. It's a plural. But Lunar Hatch is different. It aims to actually farm the fish in space. It will farm the fish in the space. Researchers have already tackled critical questions. Would the eggs survive the violent vibrations of launch? Would cosmic like a 9G, 5G, would cosmic radiation or changes in gravity damage their DNA? Early tests suggest they will. Fuck that. Using equipment from the University of Montpellier's Space Center, scientists simulated the intense shaking of a Russian Soyuz rocket, fertilized eggs at different stages of development withstood the stress. The project has been years in the making. Price Zabala first proposed it in 2016 when the European Space Agency ESA sought ideas for a moon village. Funding arrived in 2018 from France's National Space Agency, CNES, right? CNES. And Lunar Hatch is now among 100 projects shortlisted for use as future Argonaut lander missions starting in 2034. Shortlisted. The list of next subjects, right? Shortlist. But let's find out what a shortlist is, right? Like a Hubo. It's the list of potential winners for a prize, right? Like a movie academy, right? Shortlisted. A shortlist is a list of candidates exactly for a job, prize, award, political position, etc. that has been reduced from a longer list of candidates, sometimes via intermediate lists known as long lists. So that's why it's a short list.
Candidates.
Yeah, why? Why? These robotic cargo ships would deliver up to 1.8 tons of equipment to the lunar surface, including a small but precious cargo of sea bass eggs. If successful, Lunar Hatch could become What? Could it become what? I do not know, right? Could it become an epochal experiment? That's what I would suggest, right? So, up to become a model for sustainable life support systems, both in space and on Earth, right? In a world facing growing challenges of food security, what begins as a solution for distant astronauts might soon ripple back to communities isolated by geography, climate change, and conflict. For now, the fish at Palavas-les Flats continue their slow spiraling dance, unaware that their offspring may one day help humanity take its next giant leap. That's a good article. So shortlisted prize blah, right? And the CNS, a fish, zebrafish, and fish, 200 fish, not 200 fishes, and all the verbs are plural. And what else? What else am I looking at, right? And interesting colonization. They will use the eyes, which is shielded from sunlight at the polar region of moon, right? So it's interesting event there. It would be a good model for autonomous sustainability for the space explorer. Thanks for listening. Have a wonderful Friday. Today is a Friday, May 16th, 2025.